the fact of the matter is there are a lot of men out there that need help with
Very
that.
true.
Yeah. You know, a lot of men that you would never even think had that problem, right? So that type of thing. I mean, just wanted to bring that up because of how important it is to recognize that there is a problem.
Yeah.
And it's so easily accessible.
Oh, yeah.
One click and it's right there on your phone.
That's more accessible than almost any other type of addiction.
Oh, yeah.
You know, any drug. I mean, it's way easier.
Free. It doesn't cost money. And you can literally sit in your bathroom and hide.
Yeah.
Like it's,
But if you realize
crazy.
the in-depth type of, even if you're not a moral person or whatever, and you're heartless and you don't have no other relationships with anybody, the biggest problem is most of the people in that industry are trafficked to be in that industry.
Yes.
That's true.
So
And
sad.
that's what's horrible, that they're trapped in a thing. And they say that 1 out of every 4 trafficked people are children.
Yeah.
And that just to support that industry, and then for the
crazy.
media to be, and guys be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, you're supporting an industry that is horrible. It's horrific.
That reminds me of the podcast we did with Nelson.
Yeah.
What's his first name? Todd Nelson.
Yeah.
And he was a San Jose police officer, and he
25 years in narcotics
went after
and
sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Trafficking a lot, and he was telling us stories, and it's just insane.
It's so hard because, I mean, I think it'd be really difficult to be a police officer or any type of person trying to.
Now.
Yeah, because you have to like identify. I mean, they have you watch film, and then you have to figure out where those perpetrators are.
Yeah,
you have to find. I mean, like,
well,
it's
got to be like split decision making, and it's amazing. Like people get down on police officers because they make mistakes.
Yeah,
but it's split,
because they're a human.
It's split decision.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So
there's not good people everywhere.
Yeah,
and there's not.
Generalize.
Yeah, you can't generalize anything.
Yeah.
In any industry, in any group and organization, there's going to be people that are out to get power, and then people that are truly out there to serve.
Yes.
In all those organizations. Just let's shed more light on the people that are trying to serve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Than trying to just all the media that's focusing on the negative stuff.
Well, yeah. And that's as easy to get access to as porn.
Yeah. It is.
Like the bad news and stuff like that. It's just in your face constantly.
Yep, that's all the media wants to.
And the thing is that can become an addiction too, because there's this. If you have a stressful life, right? You're living a life that might not be that isn't in the path that you would like it to be. When you see other people that have it worse, it relieves you. And you release dopamine.
Yes.
And that dopamine can become addictive to yourself, right? So then people will watch only drama, Breaking Bad, for instance, right? They're like, oh, well, see, I'm not doing that. So, like, this is okay. Like, he's got to support, you know, like, and you justify
he's
what you're watching.
For his cancer.
You justify what you're watching, but I think people forget the influence, the impact that it has on your brain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you even said, you guys are watching it, and then all of a sudden, like, well, hey, I've never used meth. I'm like, that show influenced it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
How many other people are thinking that when they're watching whatever?
I bet.
Game of Thrones or whatever, where they're like, well, okay, cheating's not that bad because every episode they're cheating with whoever.
Yeah.
So
it becomes normal.
It becomes normal.
Brain. Yes. Exactly.
And then that's when the opportunity presents itself, which it can in life, then you're more willing to take that opportunity because of what you've been programmed from the things that you watch. So I'm very, very strict on what I put into that brain, that processor, this computer. I don't want a virus in there. You know what I mean? Messing it up. So that's why I talked about about personal development books and
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff, podcasts, stuff that you can fill it with.
I have a whole collection
do.
of personal development books, and I'm reading right now David Goggins'
Can't hurt me.
Just
Yeah.
read that one.
and it's so good.
one.
And
I didn't read it. I listened to
Audio,
it.
same thing.
I'm
Yes.
gonna read it first and then listen to it because I've heard the actual reading is like they do like a mini podcast after. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
it is. His buddy reads it, and then
Yeah.
they'll stop after like almost every chapter, and he'll be like, "Okay, so David, tell me what's really going on here," and then he goes off on like, you just get more in depth of what was really going on when he's talking about like owning people and like.
Well, one of the stories that really stood out in my mind is when his future stepdad got murdered.
Yeah.
And then he saw a kid get run over by a bus. And that's
That was the first day of the school year.
that's
And-
cementing that in your mind. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know how he would take that
No
Yeah.
kidding.
as a kid.
And didn't he see his future stepfather, didn't he see it on TV and then he went home, or did he see it? Anyways, it was on TV too. I'm trying to remember that
Something
story,
like
but
that, yeah.
but like so traumatic, like, and the guy had already been through, he'd been beaten a lot
Yes.
and raised by
his real dad.
raised by
was
a father that was
complete scumbag.
Oh, totally. All about power. He's one of those people that wants power,
Yep.
right? Power over people, power over or over everything.
Yes.
But you in some ways it created a hardness for him to be able to handle anything,
Yeah,
right? Which is great.
can't hurt me.
But yeah, like so he feels like nothing can harm me. On the flip side, there's still damage that is undone from all of that trauma that was done to him. And I feel like by having a book like that, it can help other people realize they don't have to go through the same stuff that he went through, and they can still make it through. We don't have to go through like my kids don't have to know that drugs are bad, right? Right? Because they can take other people's stories. They can take my stories.
And
they
hopefully,
can take your story, right?
hopefully, your kids and your kids can see in you guys the hard times and learn from them. And
Yes, absolutely.
that would be an amazing way to like teach your kids about life lessons. So I want to talk more about your you having to be the mom and the dad and how that takes up a lot of your time, you know? Like I'm sure when you get home you have to cook dinner for your kids and stuff like that, and then be like help them with homework and stuff. And can you kind of tell me like about what that's like?
So right now, I don't have to be because my boyfriend lives with us.
Okay.
And he is an amazing dad.
Yeah.
And he has been through his own struggles, and he's very good with the emotional side that I'm not so good at. I've never been good at talking about emotions, and he's very good at that. So he definitely helps me there. But before that, I had to play both roles, and it was hard. I mean, I shout out to those moms out there that are doing it, because it's hard. And, I luckily had the help of my ex-in-laws. They helped me so much with my kids. And so I never truly did it on my own. I've always had some help. So, but yeah, I mean, you just have to prioritize and execute.
Yeah. Both of my sisters have been in that situation.
Really?
And my one sister's, my older sister, is married now and has a good, person to take care of the stuff around the house and stuff like that. And so that's good. But, I really respect anyone that has to be in that situation of raising kids on their own.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I did it. did it a lot when my kids were young. After my divorce, I was definitely handling all that. That was rough. Yeah. It was very rough trying to work 2 jobs to survive, trying to go to school to better myself, and taking care of 2 very young kids. So yeah, it was not easy, but then I got back on drugs. So I was coping in ways that were obviously not very healthy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
So what's your kid's situation right now? How old are they now?
So my oldest will be 15 in a week. It's terrifying. She's going to have her permit. She lives with her dad most of the time. She just comes over to my house every other weekend. And then my youngest daughter, she'll be 12 in October. She lives with me now. So she's with me full time. It's awesome because it's been a long time since I've had her live with me, and it's great. She's very mature for her age. You know, she just started middle school, and she rides her bike home and does her chore. She gets herself up, and she's very independent, gets ready. Like she's really, really smart, and she's been through a lot. So she's very mature for her age.
Yeah.
And she's, it's great. It's amazing.
Experience, all that experience, you grow up really fast.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, she found her dad when she was 5, dead, overdosed. So that obviously can affect a person in so many ways, and probably ways that we won't even realize until later. I mean, you just can't know how that can affect a kid. But she's definitely resilient. Kids are very, very resilient and strong.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
Yes.
Yeah. So talking to them about the different personal development stuff, it's never too young to do that.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So then by the time they're in their 20s and they're adults and they have to take on all that responsibility that us adults have to, they can deal with all the stuff that starts to show up. Right. All the past issues that will eventually they'll get to the surface.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
And if those aren't prepped, if they don't know how to deal with that kind of stuff, right, then it can create a pretty rough time in their 20s.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, so I definitely I try and sneak podcasts in when they're in the car with me sometimes.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
They get annoyed, but I'm like, well, just listen. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But
I'll be driving in the car and I'm like, hey, sorry, we're listening to The Illusion of Money right now.
Have you listened to any of the Warrior Kid podcasts?
I did. I actually played 1 or 2 of them for them.
That's great.
Like, I think those are perfect for like young kids.
Yes, absolutely.
And I actually bought that book, Mikey and the Dragons,
Cool.
because Jocko read the whole story, and it's so like I can get something out of that, and so if I can get some of that out of that, and just imagine how much the kids can get out of that.
Yeah, I actually bought them all 3 of the, not the Mikey and the Dragon, but the other 3, the Warrior Kid. Yeah, I bought them all 3 of those.
That's cool.
And reread them. My oldest didn't really care for it, but my youngest definitely. She liked it. So
that's cool.
That was cool. Yeah, so I mean I'm just try and be positive around them always. You know, don't complain about things. Just, teach them every chance that I get.
Yeah.
So they learn from my mistakes and won't go through the same thing I did, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. And that's like the best way to learn, like I said. Yeah. So Talisha, what is your YouTube channel called?
Diamond Cutting Queen.
Okay.
All right.
Diamond Cutting Queen. So go check that out.
Yeah.
We're actually recording this podcast right now, and it will be on Diamond Cutting Queen.
Her YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
You'll get to see Mona whining.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
You'll get to see how cute Mona is.
And how big she is.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also have Facebook and Instagram and TikTok all under Diamond Cutting Queen.
Okay.
So, because I do random posts at work and stuff like that, and try and do inspirational things and
Again, it's the giving back portion.
Yes, exactly.
It helps you feel more fulfilled, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what piece of advice can you give our listeners?
Yeah, and
so one thing I love to tell my kids all the time is nothing good in life is easy. You know,
that's perfect.
There's just, if you want a mediocre life, then keep being mediocre.
Right.
If you want a better life and you want you're willing to work hard, then you'll get bigger rewards.
You want extraordinary life, you have to be extraordinary.
And I want to expand on that a little bit because it's important to like surround yourself with those positive people.
Yes.
And if you're hanging out with like shitheads and like druggies and stuff like that, it's easy to fall into that same